Okay, so let's get started on our last mini section for this lab. And we'll open up ArcGIS and we have our map. Okay, so there's two main ways of depicting your data in this program. Okay, so this is called a map. All right, and the icon for maps is over here. And when you open up your catalog, you're going to see your maps at the top. Okay, and that's the icon for them. But this is really a virtual world. This is like Google Maps or something. You could, zoom in and out. We could unclip this data once again. And this is your work table, okay? And this is where, you get stuff done. But you're also going to want to present your map. You want to put it, eventually you're going to want to print it out on a sheet of paper, okay? So the way you go about doing that is coming up here to insert, all right, and you're going to choose new layout. And let's choose architectural C 18 by 24, okay? So just double click on that. And let me close up some of this. You're going to see a new folder open up here. And don't worry, I know you don't have that. I'm going to give that to you guys later. You're going to see a new folder open up here called Layouts. Okay, so this is your workbench, okay, your work table. This is where, you make a mess and you're experimenting with different things and you're getting everything done. But this is where, when you're done with making your, say it's like a piece of furniture or something, this is where you present it to the public and you put the lacquer on it. And the other thing that's very important is we are going to add scales, north arrows. There's a lot of things that you need to put on a map to make it professional. Okay, so Texas is a bit of a square state, all right? And so this layout configuration is not going to work for us, all right? So let's start at the top and we're going to click on layout. And when I click on it, I want you to see what happens over here to this pane. And this is what's really nice about this software is you click on or double click on that, okay? And instead of it appearing here, a new window opens up. Okay, so what we're going to do, since we want to make it square, let's go and do 18 inches. No, hey, come on, man, Texas is big. Let's do 2 feet by 2 feet, okay? And this doesn't matter since it's square and you don't need to worry about that. But while we're up here, let's call this Texas base layout. Okay, and then under metadata, let's come back here, Control C. We're going to call this, paste it in there. Okay, under credits, put your name. Okay, you're the map maker. Okay, and we don't need to worry about anything else. And so we're going to click OK. All right. Well, where's our map? Okay. So what we're going to do, this is a virtual sheet of paper. When we export this as a PDF and you go to print it on a proper plotter, this will print at 2 feet by 2 feet. Okay. So how do we get this virtual world onto our sheet of paper? Well, we come up here, okay, to the Insert tab because we want to insert our map, and we're going to choose Map Frame, and we're going to choose this Texas base. All right. Now, whenever you insert anything into this onto your sheet of paper, you're going to see once you hit insert, you're gonna see this very tiny, annoyingly tiny crosshairs appear. Okay, I'm not sure why they made it so small, but it's asking you to pick a point and then drag to another point and let go with your mouse to delineate where you want this object to go. Okay, so we're going to hover up here to the upper left corner. All right, and you're going to see, it's hard to see maybe on the video, but you should see two dashed blue lines. Okay, those are called smart guides, and that means that you're right on the corner. Okay, and if you're not and you're having a hard time with that, don't worry about it. All right, hold down, left click up there, hold down your left mouse button, come down here, see those two blue dash lines, and let go. Okay, now our state appears, and you can see I'm a little off. I'm not really sure how that happened, but I'm glad it did because I can show you how to fix it. All right, you don't have to be super precise because there's a way. We always want to double check it anyway. Okay, so here's what we want to do now is click over here to deselect our map frame, and then double click on the map frame here. Okay, and now we get this elements pane appearing over here on the right. Okay, and it's kind of annoying how many times we have to call this Texas base. Okay, just Texas base is fine. Okay, now let's start over here or continue over here on the far right. Okay, and get our placement right on the money. Okay, so the size is 24 by 24, and then we want this down. It doesn't really matter where you're positioning it, but I always like this bottom. I always like it to calculate the distance from this bottom left hand corner, because really that's where your x-axis and your y-axis begin in algebra. All right, come over here, and this is how you can decorate your map frame. For right now, we're going to turn that off. Okay, just go down to 0 points. Now over here, this is critical. Okay, setting a scale is very important in map making. All right, and the reason why is a map is a model of an external reality. Okay, so think of a giant jumbo jet, and there's a model maker, as this guy likes to make model jets as a hobby. Well, the model that he makes is a miniature replica of an external reality. Okay, and he has to tell people, okay, if this was the real thing, it would be 24,000 times bigger than what it is now. Okay, and in map making, obviously that's so critical, because we can never put the state of Texas on a map. And so for people to measure any kind of distances or square footage, they need to know what the scale is. All right, and we don't want to have a crazy scale like this. We want to make it as uniform as possible. So 7 million, so that means 1 unit on your sheet of paper equals 7 million units in reality. All right, so 1 inch on this sheet of paper equals 7 million inches in reality. Okay, so 7 million is zoomed out. It is text looks a little small there. And remember, the bigger this number is, the smaller text is going to become. So we want to make this number smaller. So let's type in 5 and then 6 zeros. Okay, so 1 to 5 million, still way too small. Let's just change this 5 to a 3. And we're looking pretty good. And that's going to give us... you like to, you want to let your map breathe. Oh, I wanted to make it smaller. So what we can do actually is leave that 5 there and make this a 2. Okay, that looks pretty good. But what I'm gonna do, just gaze at your sheet of paper. And I think what I'm gonna do, I wanna see what 275 looks like. Okay, I like that. Okay, so you have a lot of nice white space so your map can so to speak breathe. Okay. Now, we're going to put what is called marginalia down here. We're going to put the tech logo, your name, the semester, a few other things. And so we want a little more breathing room down here than up here. Now, if we hold down our left mouse button and move, remember, we're working on a sheet of paper here, and so we're moving this element. Don't do this. You don't have to do this. I'm just going to do a Control Z and snap that back into place. So what we want to do is we want to punch through the sheet of paper and get down to the map. Okay? And so the way to do that is right click. Again, right clicking is always our friend, and choose Activate. Now be careful, you don't want to zoom because that's going to mess up your scale. Remember, we got this nice and locked in tight. Now your pan tool is activated, and your pan is, if you hold down the left mouse button, that's going to move your map without moving this sheet of paper or the map frame. So like I said, I just want to move it slightly north, okay? And I think that looks good. Everybody's is going to be a little different. That's fine. Okay, now we want to get out of activation mode. And so you can right click, and now what you're going to do is hit that layout button there. Okay, you can also go to layout here, and so you can activate it up here. And then if you go back to layout, you can close your activation. So there's a few different ways you can do it, but make sure that you're not activated. Okay, once you get your map set exactly where you want it and your scale is set, okay, come over to your map frame. Sorry guys, I'm a little all over the place here. Okay, so make sure your map frame pane is open here, all right? And this is a very, very helpful and important feature. After everything's been set, under constraint, click this and choose fixed center and scale, and that is going to lock it into place. Okay, now the last thing, second to the last thing we're going to do is, well, you know what? Let's leave those credits for now. Okay, and this base map is fine. If you want to change the base map, you can do that here, okay, under map. All right, and you can see the different types of base maps, but I know this lab has gone pretty long. So what I want you to do is hold down Control and tap S, so you save your work. Come up here to Share, and you're going to choose Export Layout. Okay. Choose PDF. Okay, and make sure you're navigating to your exports folder. Okay, that's your number 10. All right, and call this Texas Base Layout Lab 2, and then just type in your name. All right, and then click OK. Make sure this is just a JPEG. Choose output as an image, okay? And these sliding bars are probably going to be fine where they are, except down here. So 300 dpi is a lot for a file size that's 2 feet by 2 feet. So I want you to just send that back over to normal, and that takes it to 100 dpi. When we do our final exports, we're gonna make them higher resolution. But right now, I just want to get this map exported so you can load it up to Blackboard with your notes. Okay, so let's export that guy. Okay, sometimes it can take a little while, and but when it's done, make sure you view the exported file. Okay. All right. Now I am gonna load up a very simple PowerPoint template to help you with your notes, just so you have the section headers for each mini section set up for you. And on those section headers, you're going to see bullet points of the items that you should make sure you cover. All right, when you're done, export your PowerPoint as a PDF and upload that PDF along with this guy to Blackboard. All right. Now, make sure you do a Control S. Okay. And then close out of the software. And again, if you're leaving the school computer, go to your folder. Okay. And see, it's currently syncing this lab 2, and that is because I have this PowerPoint open. So once I close out of that, and if I close out of that, it's going to stop the recording. All of these will be green. And that's it. Okay. If you have any questions, I know this was a bit of a long lab, but if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Okay. I hope you have a great weekend. Guns up on Saturday. I think we're playing ACU. And the stadium is supposed to look spectacular now with all the new renovations. And I will look forward to speaking with you again soon in Lab 3.